because you can choose the moment it happens. It triggers you, but it triggers you, darling. It triggers you inside. It's got nothing to do with someone else. Because if in the same situation, I would be standing there, I wouldn't get triggered. I would just smile and go, this is interesting. Thank you so much. So notice what happens between spouses or partners. Is the moment one gets triggered by the other, this one is getting triggered by whatever he or she does. But it's never about what someone does, but it's about the trigger inside of you.
Hello everybody, welcome to Mindset Simplified. And this show is going to introduce you to those mindset experts and most successful people from all over the world who will share their experience of most challenging situations in their journey and how they managed to overcome, so that you don't need to do the same mistakes again and rather focus on your growth to make way for the highest level of success in your life. Today's guest, Mrs. Happiness from Netherlands, one of the happiest country in the world. She is a TEDx speaker, energy expert, happiness coach, and NLP master, and also an international speaker. She is a nomad and an amazing inspiration for me to become one. You give any problem to her, she can instantaneously project how you can make best out of that situation. She started a company and a motion called Life Engineer. I love the name itself. She is simply a joy junkie and full of energy. She calls everyone in the world a multilingual, and that language, she calls it as smile. Help me to welcome Jen. Hi Jen, how are you doing?
Hi Rajesh, so happy to be on your show. Thank you so much for inviting me.
I'm really happy to have you here because as much as I know, you're one of the most happiest person ever I've met. I just want to ask, right? How can you be happy all the time?
Thank you so much. That's such a compliment. I'm really enjoying this. It's so nice to see you again and to have this together. Yeah, the thing is, I get that question a lot. That people ask me, how come you're happy all the time? The thing is, Rajesh, I'm not happy all the time. But I know from the moments that I'm not, how to get myself out of it without denying the feelings that I have in it. But I'll explain to you later how this all works. Is that good? Yes.
Yes, definitely. One thing I really kind of get most common question is, life is complicated. This is what most of the people come and tell me. Life is complicated. Now, I want to ask that question to you, that is really life complicated, or are we making the complications within our life? What do you think?
It's the latter for sure. Life for us as human beings, life seems very complicated. But you know, in real life, actually, life is not that complicated. Life is super simple. Life is super simple. It's so easy. We just make it complicated. Yeah. So that's what I've been teaching for over 10 years now by now. And we make life complicated, but it's super simple.
Can you throw some light, which of the areas or which of the kind of situations or triggers where we start to complicate life?
It all starts with emotion. Okay. Emotion is the one feeling we have as a human to actually detect what is going on around us. And emotions are triggers, basically. What happens to us, we get triggered by things around us. So that an emotion could be fear, could be anxiety, could be surprise, could be joy, could be any kind of first instant feeling you get out of a situation is that you're triggered and you get this emotion. That's what it is. Okay. An emotion only lasts 4 seconds.
4 seconds?
After that, 4 seconds, that's all it takes. After that, we keep it alive ourselves. And that's where the complication comes in. Because with our mindset, with our mind, with our thinking, with the language used in our own head, all what we've learned, the conditioning we've gotten over the years makes that we have a thought and idea about the emotions that we're having, and therefore we transmute it into feelings.
Oh, is it really possible to break the pattern somewhere?
Yes, of course. Of course there are. Yes, and that's why I've been doing what I've been doing, because joy is one of the most amazing things you can use to break this pattern. Because in anything, yes, in anything you can find joy. Yes, because that's where you can actually break the pattern. Using joy, you can break the pattern. It's so cool. So life is really simple.
So, for example, this is the most common thing I get from the audience is my boyfriend or my girlfriend, they're not understanding me, right? I'm really kind of in a depression because why I even choose this partner, right? This is one of the most common thing. And I see that there is a trigger point for them most of the time in the relationship. How do they actually approach with this, joy so that they don't go through that unnecessary arguments and, the depression?
Oh, that's so wonderful. That's a really good question. And actually, it's I love the complexity of it. And it actually is super simple. Okay, first of all, the moment you met your partner, you got really excited, didn't you?
Yeah.
You were really happy. You were in love. You felt something inside of you. You had this joy of a child. You didn't have to eat. You could live on air alone in that time, didn't you? Right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yes, that's pure joy. And over the time, whatever happens to the two of you is that emotions were transmuted into feelings. And then you also got layers of thoughts, but she's doing this because, or he is doing this because. Is he or she really? And then you get into a conflict, and then the whole mind situation starts. But she's been doing this because, or he's been doing this because he's hurting me. Is he or is she really? So here is the moment you get triggered, literally the moment you get angry, you get upset, and then you think that she or he has been doing something against you. But is it really true? Because the thing is, it's your own trigger. It happens inside of you. And you notice the light changing. It's because we have sun here and then we don't. Welcome in the Netherlands. This is what happens. I'm really lucky that today we actually have sun. So, and there you go. It's coming back to having sunshine or not having sunshine. You can actually choose in the moment it happens, you can choose sunshine. Because you can choose the moment it happens. It triggers you, but it triggers you, darling. It triggers you inside. It's got nothing to do with someone else. Because if in the same situation, I would be standing there, I wouldn't get triggered. I would just smile and go, this is interesting. Thank you so much. So notice what happens between spouses or partners. Is the moment one gets triggered by the other, this one is getting triggered by whatever he or she does. But it's never about what someone does, but it's about the trigger inside of you. And therefore we come down to responsibility. Anything you do is your own responsibility. You have a responsibility for you. How you react, how you feel, how you transmute emotions into feelings. That's up to you, to no one else. And taking that responsibility makes life a lot easier, but it ain't easy. Because it's way easier to blame someone else for whatever is going on than to actually take the card yourself and say, what's happening here? What can I do about this situation? Yeah. So if you're in an argument, coming back to your question, I do this. This is coming back to your question. Is if you're in an argument with your spouse, bring it back to what's happening to you. What's happening inside of me? Why am I getting angry? What's going on here? And then go back in that moment to the happiness that you felt the first time you met her. It ain't easy. I did tell you it's not easy, but it's super simple. And then the situation will change because your emotion will change, your thought patterns will change, and therefore your feelings will change. And it will be a lot easier to talk with it together.
Wow, that's really, really important. The purpose of the channel itself is simplifying this stuff, but you're making it really super simple. So what you're saying is, the moment there is any argument happens, every trigger is within us. The second point is, instead of going and into the easy route of blaming somebody else, see what is going wrong within us. And also on the other side, when we started having that first love or first time when we actually met them, bring that memory instead of what is going on right now. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Wow.
Because then you're introducing joy again. I literally just heard behind you something dropped in the background. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I think maybe my kid must have done something.
It's probably, and you don't even know because you haven't been looking at it. But we're doing an interview now, so having something background noise is not what you want while you're doing an interview, correct?
Absolutely.
Yes. So you and I could get super mad about what's going on. But this is you and I getting mad. It's got nothing to do what happened behind the door behind you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
It's always.
And now that we talk about it, and now that we talk about what the background noise was, it actually also for the audience, they go like, oh yeah, that happened, it's okay. Because we don't know what happened. We don't know what's going on. We haven't been in the situation. So what it is about us reacting to it, there's no need for it.
Yeah.
And
so we can choose. We can choose whether to react or not to react.
Yes.
I love this.
Because now you know that you only have 3 or 4 seconds when that emotion hits you. After that, it's up to you.
So whether we carry that emotion beyond 4 seconds or not is where we actually have the power on how we actually kind of carry forward. Whether we take love or joy or the other thing forward. Wonderful. I mean, it's really interesting, right? The way, can you share where is your journey started? All along you were the same, or is there anything that triggered in your life that you got into a situation where you're really helping so many thousands of people around?
What it started for me is, I don't even know how many years ago this was. It was, I was living abroad with my boyfriend at the time, and I got pregnant. I was really looking forward to being a mom. And within the first trimester, I lost the kid, unfortunately.
Oh.
And that triggered a situation between me and my then boyfriend, which came to a climax, basically, that he didn't understand me, I didn't understand him. I was living in sort of an emotional realm about all of this. I couldn't even get across what was going on. I mean, come on, we all know these kind of situations. Maybe not particular this, but that you're living in an emotional realm. You cannot connect with your partner at that time, and it just goes into mayhem in whatever direction it is. And I was in that state. And I was sitting in a beautiful house in Antwerp, in Belgium, where I was living. And I was just miserable, absolutely miserable. Yes, I lost my child, correct. But I was miserable about so many other things. So I literally sat down, got myself a booklet and started writing. And I was like, what is going on here? What am I miserable about? So I started writing about all the things I was miserable about. Does it help me to get out of being miserable? No, but I didn't know at the time. But it started at that time that I understood that I was part of a plan of someone else. It was his plan. And I was becoming his wife, his support, out of all sorts of things that I've learned from my family, how to be and how to react as a woman, as a wife, I felt I was not a true woman without being married. And getting those patterns out, those conditionings, and there's nothing wrong with it. That's not what I'm saying. It's more that it didn't work out for me because I adapted that pattern. And in that time, sitting in that chair in this beautiful garden, next to this beautiful house, white picket fence, 2 big cars, everything. We had like literally everything. And, but I was miserable, absolutely miserable. And that's the moment I started saying, okay, this is it. I'm done. I've had it. No more. This feels I've got everything my heart can desire and I feel miserable. So I said goodbye to my boyfriend at the time. And within 2 or 3 weeks, we broke up, sold the house, split our belongings. And that was after a 5-year relationship. So that was long. And he was taken aback about what happened. I was taken aback, but you get into sort of a state of shock. And the moment I was driving home, everything was settled. I even had a dog. I had to rehome my dog even, because I said, this is it. I'm going to start all over again. I can't bring anything with me because it's not what I choose, what life should be. And I sat down in my car, an old, beautiful old car, like literally packed to the rafters with all the little things that I wanted to keep. And I drove home. And while I was driving home to Amsterdam, because that's where my dad lives, I said, what am I going to do now? And the question I set myself, okay, Jen, what is the life you want? And that's where it all started, Rajesh. I wasn't thinking or focusing on anything that was miserable in my life, but for the first time, I was actually focusing on, what do I want? What would I like to have? What would I like to achieve? Who do I want to be? What do I want to do? Who do I want to inspire? How can I inspire myself? And in that 2-hour journey in the car, I set up a plan, and that's where it started. And that's now more than 10 years ago.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I want to say my sincere gratitude for sharing your personal journey. It is really because this message is really powerful. There's so many women out there. I'm hoping that they're taking this message to their heart, because they are in their journey who thinks they need to, just fit into that society's requirements, saying that get married, have a kid, support the husband. And they need to listen to this. They must listen to this. But coming out of that, there are many people who might have taken that as a depression, point of view, getting into the depression, but then you took the other way. But is the journey, once you started, was it all easy when you started all over and all by yourself?
No, of course not. It ain't easy, but it was way better than where I was in. That I knew for sure. I didn't know where I was going, but I felt, and this is where the emotion comes in, I felt that it was better than where I was in. Because it was my journey. And that's where it comes in. And this is where we as women are not only allowed, we have to allow ourselves, give permission to ourselves to live our own life, which doesn't mean you have to be separate or not have a partner or whatever. No. But we can live our own life, because every one of us, if you're male or female, doesn't matter. You come here on this beautiful earth with a journey, with a mission that's inside of your soul. And the more you suppress this, the more you oblige to someone else's mission or plan, whatever you want to call it, the more miserable you get. And in the end, you even get physically miserable, because this mission wants to come out of you. This wants to be lived, wants to be there. And you are the one there. You are the one who is connected to this mission. You are the one who's connected to this mission. Only you. This is how beautiful and unique you are, because you got this mission to bring this on earth. And it's up to you to do this. And it's not like what you said, it's not an easy ride. I don't say this, it's easy, but it's super enjoyable, because it brings you so much closer to your heart, to the joy that you want to experience in life.
And if somebody wants to start their journey right today, once they see the video, yes, what are your thoughts? Where do they actually kind of start? What is the first step they need to take to start this journey?
Start with you, darling. Start with you. Start listening to who you are. To talk about who you are is like huge. It's a huge thing. But if you start to listen, what feels right to you. And I say feel, it's like you follow the emotions, because your body and your emotions will show you where you need to go. Did you ever have a moment that you go like, I don't know why, but I have to leave the house now and go to the ice shop or something else to get an ice cream, and you don't know why, but you just have to be. And right at that moment, your best friend walked in, and you go like, oh, I haven't talked to you such a long time. I'm so happy to see you. Or I decide to go out of the house because I want to go and get a coffee. And I don't know why, but I have to go now, not in an hour, but I feel that I need to go now. And I show up at the coffee shop and I have this guy that I share the table with, and we have a talk about this, and he's now my business partner. Those are coincidences. It's everything for me, the universe is connected to each other. That the two of us met then in Singapore was an amazing, it's not a coincidence. It was meant to be that we met in so many ways. And this is following a hunch, following a feeling, and it's not a thought. That's the difference. So coming back to your question, if you want to start, if you feel this and you go like, oh, there's something happening inside of me, I want to do this, start following your hunches, start following your feelings from inside that kind of guide you. And the more you start listening to what is guiding you, the more amazing life is going to get. It's so simple. That's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, you're really making it very simple, Jen, for sure. Maybe you've been practicing over the time. See, everyone tells me, I want to be happy, I want to be happy all the time. But, people don't start. And pretty much, I think in many ways, it has got to do with, when there is a beautiful opportunity comes through their intuition, there is an opportunity there. Probably they dream of traveling the world, or probably their dream partner, but then they just don't take action. They just don't do anything about it. Now, if they are jumping into the route of following the intuition, taking action, is it really important, or intuition will kind of, guide you all the way?
Intuition, like I called it a hunch or a feeling, and you said intuition, which is a way better word. Thank you for that. That's the only thing you need to do is literally follow your intuition. Even though if it doesn't make sense, if everybody goes, you're mad, you're mental, you're freak, you whatever, this is your intuition guiding you. And your intuition will come back every time and again until it literally takes a goalpost and hits you over the head until it happens. The universe is not subtle, I can tell you. She will guide you to where you need to go. And the only thing we have to learn is to follow that, to follow what's going on, or to follow an insight or a download or an idea that you have. You can follow that as well. But anything that feels good, you can follow. But hang on, there's a difference. If it feels good and you follow it, most definitely. But if it feels good because you're avoiding something, then it's something else. So you have to be very much discerning about those two. Because if you're avoiding something, then you're going into gaming or having a drink with friends or whatever. Then you're kind of masking what's going on. You kind of rather not feel this, so therefore I'm doing this. And there's a difference. But I'm enjoying gaming. Fine, I'm glad you're enjoying gaming. But what is it? And I'm using gaming now as a substitute that you, you mask it. You don't follow what is true inside of you. There's a difference.
Yeah, people definitely need to recognize this, because that's a very common thing. People take drugs, alcohol, overeating, and gaming. All these are a kind of replacement for their existing, they want to mask, like you said, right? They want to mask something which is really painful inside and then say, hey, I enjoy that. And I used to do for some time. I used to overeat like crazy guy. So, but then when we're talking about, this is a very important point, because I want to be happy all the time is a very common word I hear. But then people are not having, literally the steps forward. What kind of things that you do in, so many programs that you're conducting in taking that one step ahead? Is it something they can do all by themselves, or do you have some kind of proven methods or anything that can help them to go all the way in the journey?
It's I'm happy to assist in this, because this is the discernment about what am I doing that makes me happy and kind of avoids what's really going on, or what truly is what makes me happy and then I follow through. There's a difference. So you either feel and you choose to kind of mask it, or you go, and then you follow it, so that there's a difference in it. And how to do that? That's a really good question. I get that question a lot. Jen, how'd you do it? But first of all, darlings, it's never about the how, it's always about the why. Why do you want to do it? Why do you want to do it? And I'm one of them that I say, okay, why you want to do this? Because you want to live your true self. And it ain't easy, that's right, but it's absolutely achievable. And it's not something to be achieved, but you grow in that journey while you're going there. And it's a beautiful journey because it's so wonderful to just follow what is right for you. Follow what is right for you. And if something hurts, if something is uncomfortable, that's not where you want to go. Life is easy and effortlessly. It is. It's made that way. It's made that way to be easy and effortlessly. So if something is not easy and effortlessly, don't. Then something is wrong, something is off, something is, it has to bring you, and this is where the tip comes in. The moment if something is not easy and effortlessly, then something inside of you, you have an alarm bell or a red light flashing or whatever you need that you go, it's not easy and effortlessly, something is off here. And then you adjust the off to the joy. The more joy you have, the easier and effortlessly it is, right?
Yeah.
And then conversations go easy. Then your job is easy when you enjoy it. Your work is easy when you enjoy it. Your conversation with your spouse is easy when you enjoy it. But the joy comes from inside. And it starts with you. And then I bring you the tip. The trick that you and I learned from a master that I've been following and working for many, many years. And this is where we met. That's Tony Robbins.
Yes.
With Rajesh and I, we met during a Tony Robbins event in Singapore. And Tony Robbins teaches this, and this is so profound. I learned this more than 10 years ago. I picked up his book about 20 years ago. That's when I started. And this is profound. This is super easy and profound. And I'll go with you and talk to you through this. And they call it the state triangle, which means that your state, so therefore, if you're saying, the question was, how do you be happy all the time? You can be happy all the time. It's a state triangle, so there are 3 sides to it. So what is one thing that makes you happy? What's one thing that makes you happy? And then you come up with all sorts of how-tos, right? Right. But there are 3 ways, 3 things that influence your feeling of happiness. One of them, first of all, is what you focus on. So I was sitting there in Belgium in this beautiful house with a wonderful garden. I was taking my notebook and I was writing down everything that made me miserable. How do you think I felt when I was done writing?
More miserable.
Yes. Horribly miserable. Because I was focusing on everything that made me miserable. How about if you focus on everything that brings you joy, that makes you happy, that is lovely, that is enjoyable? And it ain't easy, but the thing is in this one is to start with gratitude. To be grateful for what's around you. That's the easiest way to get into this. So if we go back to the example that you had with the spouses or the partners having a row, go back to what you're grateful for. First of all, the moment you get triggered, you get upset, you go back into whatever you're grateful for. What are you grateful for? Maybe it's the sunshine that I have outside. Maybe it's that we have Zoom, that you and I can meet over all these continents. We are able to meet and reconnect and share this message with you. That's what I'm grateful for. And see what happens in Rajesh and me? This is what happens when you're grateful. Then joy comes in. So what you focus on? What do I focus on first? And how do I focus on it? Okay, so even with the background noise that was happening, we weren't focusing on, but we did it in a joyful way.
Yeah, you just cracked the joke.
That's fine. Yes, that's it. And this is how you crack the joke, because you make it easier. So what you focus on, that's first. Second thing is, Okay. Rajesh, tell me, how do you think?
How do I think about any specific topic, you mean?
Anything. How do you do that? How do you think?
With the mind.
Yes, with your mind. And what you do in your mind. What happens in your mind?
So it takes certain input and it processes and give me certain.
How do you do that?
Very good question. How to do that? By sending a thought in, or probably by sending an intention saying that I want certain outcome.
How do you set an intention? How do you do that in your mind?
By thinking about it.
Yes. So how do you think?
By
What?
focusing on those possibilities.
How do you focus on these possibilities? How do you think? How do you do that before you actually start intentioning and focusing?
I imagine.
Yes. So what you do when you imagine?
So I kind of see some images or related stuff.
And then what?
Then I picture them in the.
Yes, you can literally, you audience can literally see in Rajesh's head and his eyes going everywhere. He's actually thinking. That's what's happening. But we're not aware on how we think. Is that right? Okay, good. I'll ask you a question. Try it again in your head. What do you do when you're thinking? What do you do now? What just happened? Literally, tell me what's happened in your head.
What do you do when some connections are happening? Okay, what is that,
Yes, he asked himself a question because I asked you a question.
Yeah.
So that's what we do when we think. We ask ourselves a question and then we answer it. It's like a constant conversation going on in our head. Is that right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. And this is what thinking is. And thinking is question and answering. And it goes as warp speed inside of our head. And you know how we do questions and answering?
It's called self-talk, right?
It's called self-talk, yes. Self-talk, or you could even say, I hear voices. It's totally normal because you can hear your own voice because you're asking yourself questions. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. That's it. And how we do questions and answers is that we use words, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. Words have a meaning, have a feeling to it, have an energy to it. So words make how we feel. Going back, you have an emotion, and then you start having words to go with it. Therefore, you get a feeling.
Yeah.
Words are super important. Words make how you feel. So that's the second thing in the triangle. Your words make out how you feel. So what you focus on, what are the words that you're using? It's important. Okay, and what's the third?
I know already. I don't want to say it. You want me to say it?
Go on, tell me. What's the third that helps?
The physiology, right?
Yes, absolutely. Your physiology makes that it changes your feeling from the inside. It changes your emotional state, literally. Those 4 seconds, you can actually bring them on yourself by using another language, by using another focus, and by using other physiology. With physiology, you know already, and now I'm going to show it with you. That's beautiful. It's physiology is what your body does to your emotions. Hang on, but my emotions do something to my body. Nuh-uh. Your body can do something to your emotions. And I'll show you. Do this trick with me. Come on, you can do this.
Yeah.
All right. So I want you to smile, but I want you to smile the other way. I want you to look as sad as possible. Really bad, like really pull them. It's not easy for us, is it? No, but really pull them down, like really go sad, 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 and upset. That's it. Yeah, there you go. And now while you keep this mouth like this, I want you to look up at the ceiling. We can do this, like look really sad, and then watch what happens to the ends of your mouth. Go up, up. Look at the ceiling. And tell me what happened to the ends of your mouth. Where did they go?
They're coming. They're coming up.
They're coming up. Yes. Hang on. No. But I told you to look really sad. What do you mean they're coming up? You smiled while you're looking at the sort of a little bit, but you smiled while you're looking at the ceiling, weren't you?
Yes. Absolutely.
Yes. And you know why? because the muscles in your face cannot look sad while you're looking up at the ceiling. They cannot. You can only smile when you're looking up at the ceiling. And what happens when you smile, when your face smiles, your hormones in your system go like, oh, hang on, she's smiling. We need to give her some hormones, endorphins and everything, because she's smiling. She needs to feel happy. So this is an instant happiness rush you can get just by looking up at the ceiling or looking up at the sky. That's it. Yeah. Instant happiness. Yes, that's what you wanted, right? Instant happiness. This is where it comes up to. You can even use this super with kids when they come in and they have something going on, or they cut themselves, or they're upset about something. What they do when they come in and they're upset. This is how they come in. This is physiology. They get upset. I'm not, Dad, I'm angry. I'm so upset about something. This is their physiology. Kids are amazing. You can watch them do this. We've unlearned this, but we can relearn this. And what I do with my nephews, the first thing I said, look up at the ceiling. There's a unicorn, or whatever I come up with. And they go like, what, where? Oh, no, there's not. But they've been looking up. But while they were looking up, I know that in their body, there's endorphins coming in. So therefore, they will feel less sad at that moment. And then we can actually have a conversation about what's been going on. So your physiology makes a huge difference in how you experience the world. So if you go around like this, like really curled up, yes, life's not easy, is it?
Yeah, it's very difficult.
That's very difficult. But if you really straighten up, that's it. Look up at the ceiling once in a while, because now you will, and you will think about me, go, Jen said, yes, and then you will laugh. There you go, and then you get even more endorphins, and you will enjoy yourselves even more. So this is all together the state triangle. Your focus, what you have, the language that you use, so what you tell yourself, and the physiology, the smile that you have. Those three make how you feel. And which one of those three is easiest to change?
Probably the physiology is the most easiest, I guess.
Yes, there you go. The physiology is the easiest, because before you get the focus, you have to check out your language and the discussions in your head going on, and then changing the language. Physiology. Easiest. Yes, bam, look at the ceiling, look at the sky, change, open up. And if you want to know more about this, why physiology works, is check out Amy Cuddy. She did an amazing TED Talk in Edinburgh, I think 2012. Fabulous to watch her and to follow her. So if you want to know more about this, then go and see her. But those are the three things that make how you feel, and you can change them. And there comes responsibility for you. You take responsibility for you to change this, to change your language, to change your focus, and to change your physiology. And if you just choose one, you will notice that the rest will change too. And it's not about saying, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy. That doesn't help you.
Yeah.
Because it's physiology, language, and focus. So it's all three of them that make who you are.
In the beginning, I did that. I'm happy thing. It never worked. I mean, a few years back, right?
And I've done that too. I mean, that's called affirmations. Yeah. But affirmations do work if you feel them. And this is where I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy comes in. I'm happy happens. Why? When does happiness happen?
When you actually feel it.
Yes. And you can feel it instantly by feeling gratitude. That's when happiness comes in. And this is only one of the tricks I have up my sleeve. I tell you, I've got many, many more of this one. But just to get you started, a few things. First of all, look up at the ceiling or at the sky when you don't feel right. Yes, that's one. And people think you're weird, but hey, it's your own happiness. Enjoy it. And then out of happiness, you can make your decisions way better than when you're angry, upset, anxious. Then decisions aren't right. You cannot follow what's inside of you when you're angry and upset. Or when you're fearful, you cannot. then you make different decisions. But you can make the decision from your heart the moment you're happy. One of the things, look up at the ceiling or at the sky. Be grateful. Find little things and you don't have to say, okay, this is because, no, little things. Little things. And I'm grateful for that we have Zoom, that you and I can connect.
Yeah.
Yes. This is simple things that I'm grateful for. And most of all, those are the things that are already there. And that's where focus comes in. You focus on those things that are already there. Those are the two basic things. That's it. And then the third one is to decide to take action, as in take responsibility for you, for your own feelings, your own well-being, and your own mission in life where you want to go. And you're good to go. Starter package. Off you go.
This is really, really powerful, Jen. And I'm asking all the viewers, comment right now in the comments, what is that one thing that you're going to take a decision? Like again, Tony Robbins says, never leave a situation unless you take a decision. So you people can actually write down your decision, make a public commitment saying that I'm going to probably learn music for myself, or probably I want to do something, whatever you really love.
And do it from your intuition.
Yeah.
What does your intuition say what you want to gonna do? What you want to gonna do? What's your intuition gonna say about this? And follow through on that one. So please share. I'd love to see what's going on and what your intuition is telling you. My intuition told me then in Belgium, told me no more, stop. I don't know what's gonna come, but I know it's gonna be better than where I am now. And I do not discard my then boyfriend for what's happening. He brought me to that time. I'm super grateful that he's in my life, that he was in my life at that time, because he brought me to that stage. And pain is something beautiful because there's something new coming out of it. It brings you where you need to go. So if your intuition tells you no more, I want to stop, go follow that. Follow that, because that's something out of inside of you, and your universe brings you the signs that you need. So if you feel you have to go outside, go and get coffee somewhere, you don't know why, this is where you're going to go. This is what you're going to do. And then see how it evolves. It's beautiful how it all unfolds for you. And when it's easy and effortlessly, that's where you need to go.
Amazing. I mean, if somebody really want to work with you, and I mean, they want some, learn more about the kind of work you're doing, and if they want your mentorship or something like that, do you have any such things that you do for people who approach you?
Yes. What I do is I have two things that I think you could be interested in. One of them is I have one-on-one mentorship at the moment. And so you can work with me one-on-one on specific things that you want to work on. And I'm known for helping people get rid of their handbrakes, get rid of whatever is blocking them to going where they want to go, and dissolve it, that it will never come back. So whatever is holding you back for the past few years, I can help you with this. This is what I do, to give you a free pass, a free, an open road to what is your true mission in life.
Wow.
That's one thing. And the other thing I do is I have an online program that I run only for women to refine yourself, to have the journey to joy. And I'm starting, if I'm correct, somewhere beginning of March again, but I have it twice a year. So if you're interested, then please find me, and I'm happy to talk to you and see if you're fit to join. So I'd be happy to have you on board.
I'm going to keep all those handles right in this description, so that anyone who would like to approach, they'll definitely approach you, Jen.
And I have something special for you, because Rajesh asked me and said, do you have something that you want to share? I actually have two things I want to share with you. I'm bringing more happiness. So, yeah. One of them is a document I made. It's especially to celebrate 2020. 2020 wasn't an easy year. It was a hard year. But amongst all of this, I noticed how the human spirit came to blossom, because we always find a way. That's the amazing thing about us humans. But we forget. So I have a document for you. It's beautiful. It's called Unlocking 2021. So you look back at 2020 and then you unlock 2021 for you and see what brings you along and what you want to achieve and where your intuition guides you. So that's the one thing I have for you. And the other thing I have for you is a booklet. It's called My Morning Rituals. Because before I get to do this, before I get into this feeling, I have morning rituals that I follow every single morning. And I wrote 10 of them. I wrote them down. And they're there for you to download, to enjoy, to check which one works for you. And then, have a really joyful day. That's what I wish for you. So that's why I wrote them. Yeah.
That's amazing. You're so generous. And I know we had so many powerful conversations, and the way that you actually kind of made an impact in the way, right? How you can be happy all the time. That's why, as I always treat you like a happiness queen. So, see, this conversation is really powerful. Number one. Two is really simplified to a level, literally to the roots, where anybody can pick up and then start implementing. But you brought another topic related to that. You work with women. That's going to be for another call. And I know for sure, we already spoke about it. But you guys have to be, stay tuned for that. That's going to be a lot relevant and powerful for the women. But for now, I really need to bring this interesting conversation to an end. Just because the life has to still move on, because she shared so many powerful things. It's time for you to implement all the links, as I said, for the gift as well as for the other things will be there in the description. Jen, any last few words or any advice you have, that one thing for the audience that they would like to kind of take it from today, right now?
It's so simple. Smile. And life will smile to you.
Yeah.
That's how it is. And just follow the joy. That's all you need to do. Isn't that simple? That's simple, isn't it? Just follow the joy and life will unfold for you. It will. I promise you. Enjoy.
I love that. You said about multilingual, right? Smile is one of the common language everybody will understand. So
anywhere in the world, we understand the smile, don't we? Anywhere in the world, we understand the smile. That's
it. Absolutely. Jen, thank you so much for your time. Everything that you have shared is really powerful and simplified. And I'm really so glad on my behalf, as well as all the audience, for sharing your strategies. And, I can only say that on your mission, you're going great, and I wish you all the best. And guys, if you have not yet subscribed, make sure to subscribe the link and also ring the bell next to it, because a lot of interesting things are going to come up, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much.
I got excited what's coming, so really check up on what Rajesh is up to. It's amazing stuff. So subscribe to him, and I'm very happy to see you in the future. So if everything that we shared today with you, there's one thing I want to leave you with. If nothing works, absolutely nothing of what Rajesh and I shared with you today, then there's always one thing: confetti.
Woo! This is brilliant. This is brilliant. Bring that smile, guys, and look at the smile of Jen, and it's really amazing. And this confetti, I love it. Really.
Nothing works, confetti always works. So have it all, have a good time, and I'll see you soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.